My name is Clay Reed, and I'm a professional power systems engineer. I've been playing with electricity since I was 6 years old. When I was 8 years old, I used to have my friends push me in my cart, attach a generator to the wheel, and charge a battery so I could listen to the AM radio. When I was 10 years old, the TV man came over to the house. I asked him, I says, "What pins are you connected to light that tube up?" He showed me, and after that, my imagination was just sprung completely. When I turned 12, I built a treehouse that had running water and electricity. I built these fake robots out of cardboard boxes. They had car light bulbs on them. They had tubes plugged into them that lit up orange and everything. Sure freaked my friends out, man. When I was 14, I took electronics in high school and I built basically a radio station out of an old CB radio. I was transmitting for about a quarter-mile radius all the way around. When I was between 16 and 18, I was building guitar amplifiers. I was playing in a band and doing things like that. Pretty soon I started building electronics for everything I could think of. If there was something that I couldn't find that I needed a purpose for, I would build it. Or if it cost too much money, I would just build it instead. When I go to get a job, instead of just taking a diploma, I would just take a suitcase full of electronics and I show it to the engineer that was running the project on site over there. I got the job. Pretty soon I was building all kinds of circuits for all the engineers where I worked at. Basically worked at Northrop Electronics Division in Hawthorne, working on nuclear missile power systems. Things that go up in space, they got to be light and powerful. When I worked at Northrop, I got really interested in switching power supplies. Anything that dealt with handling a great amount of energy without delivering or creating any amount of heat. The most perfect goal to achieve. So that's a perfect place to put a power supply system, a switching supply system. So that's when I got interested really heavily, start making power supply systems for solar to handle a great amount of current with very little heat. So basically this is all my own design. It's hand wired 100% by me. That's all my soldering work and everything. It'd be nice to get this on foil. Then I could build these a lot quicker. Could set up a production. Get some friends of mine to help me build them. They don't have a job, they need a job. So what we're looking at here is this is the XR5520. This is the balancer solar charger, and it's the world's first solar charger that does balancing on the batteries automatically. It takes care of the battery pack. For once now, you can now get up to 20-year lifespan out of an AGM battery pack with this charger right here, as it keeps the batteries perfectly imbalanced. Over the last 15 years, I've been studying the benefits of balancing on the battery pack. Over the last 10 years, I've been testing an XR charger with the built-in battery balancer, such as this one right here. By having a battery balancer on a pack of 24-volt batteries, 12-volt modules, that's about $250 a piece. You'll save $1,000 a year with a balancer. When I first hooked up a set of batteries, I noticed that after about 3.5 years, I had some batteries that had sucked in sides. They were swelled horribly, and it was like when I measured voltage on the batteries, they weren't equal from one battery to another. So I basically built a solar charger 10 years ago that had a balancer in it, so that the solar charger could control the balancer. So the balancer could read what the solar charger was charging the battery at. So it could figure out what voltage it's got to come up with to make sure that the batteries stay all at the same voltage. I have a battery pack out there that's 10 years old. And we're going to go look at it here in just a little bit. Here's a basic PVX sun extender, PVX 1040T. Look at the size of the battery case. That's damage from overcharging. This is the backside here. This is damage after just 3.5 years. This is a battery pack that's 10 years old. This battery cost $5,000 10 years ago. You wouldn't want it to go bad every 3 years. Look at the size of the cases. They're nice and smooth. That's because of a balancer. I would have had to replace this battery pack 3 times in 10 years. That's $15,000 would be out of my pocket. I saved $15,000 in 10 years. Introducing the XR5520 Balancer Solar Charger. 200 amps, 5.5 kilowatts continuous. Get up to 20-year lifespan out of an AGM battery pack. Running at an efficiency of 99.7%. Also has Wi-Fi antenna with wireless transmission of available PV energy on the roof to a handheld receiver device with a 2-acre range.